Good evening and welcome to another episode of Footy Thoughts with myself, Dan, and Josh.
Hello.
Here to talk
Hello,
about football and just have a general chit chat during this lockdown. Hope you guys are all well and staying safe at home and protecting the NHS and all of that. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this episode. And today we're going to be talking about our top 10 favourite footballers, aren't we? Of any league.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I've had a tough time doing this one, but it was good fun.
It'd be interesting to see who's got similar people as well.
Definitely.
See who's put like rubbish players as well.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how much we've been like biased and how we've been non-biased. I mean, I've tried to be as non-biased as possible. I found it very hard.
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, with this kind of list, it's just like your favourite players are going to be your favourite from your favourite team. So
yeah,
it was a hard one not to include a lot of United players, but I think I've included a good number of non-United players. So
that's good. Yeah. That's good. Same. I think, but I won't go into too much detail, but I've tried to mix it up as best as I can. And there's a few surprises in there as well, which you guys might think, oh,
interesting.
But yeah, looking forward to it.
Sweet.
How about you, Josh? How do you find it?
Yeah, it was quite difficult. I've tried to pick a few players that aren't Arsenal players. I've got a few interesting ones. I think that are going to surprise a few people.
Yeah,
fair enough. Looking forward to hearing it. Looking forward. Just to let you guys know now that I haven't put any Tottenham players in it.
Neither have I.
Just want to put that out there. I mean, I couldn't think of many Tottenham players which could be a potential.
None that I like, anyway.
Nah, it's only Spurs.
I mean, they haven't had that many great players anyway, so...
Nah, they don't have any legends. So
that is very true. Very true.
They obviously do have legends, but not like their biggest legends, Ledley King, for God's sake. So
yeah, I mean, no offense.
Their biggest ones are all like black and white pictures.
Yeah.
Oh, Tottenham fans, I love this episode.
Before our time.
Oh, who would like to go first then for their 10 to 6? Dan, do you want to go first?
Yeah, can do.
Go for it.
The first one might be a surprise, considering I'm a United fan. But at 10, I've got Aguero.
Ooh, interesting.
I'll do my 10 to 6. 10, Aguero. 9, Ibra. 8, Iniesta.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
7, Dani Alves. And 6, Pirlo. So
that's a good shout.
They are my 10 to 6.
That is really good shout. I'm surprised with the Aguero one. I mean, like from you, because I mean, no doubt he's a great player, but as a United fan, that is.
I just have always loved how he plays. Like, obviously, he's a City player. And, like, there's nothing I can really do about that. But I like every time he's on the pitch, he seems to score. A few seasons back anyway. And when he was in his prime, basically. And yeah, I just really like him. His intensity, his shooting, his dribbling, everything about him. And even though he's at fault for one of my least favourite moments in Premier League history, he's in my top 10 still because I just respect him as a player.
Yeah, fair enough.
You must like him, man.
Yeah.
Despite that goal.
Yeah,
that cost you the title.
I still haven't watched that back. So
wow.
You should, mate. It's good.
Yeah, he's a great player. He still is, to be fair. Like, he's been injured quite a bit, but
he's on his way out. But he's if he gets in form, he can fly City to another title challenge easily.
Oh
He's
yeah.
he's that good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think. I mean, I don't think there's anyone. I still think he's the best striker in the Premier League, in my opinion. You know, I think. I
That's
mean,
an out-and-out striker for sure.
yeah,
When you
100%.
think of the big teams, Liverpool don't have a striker. They have 3 attackers, not a striker.
Yeah, exactly.
Like City, the only other one's Jesus, and he's improving, but he's not the best.
Mm,
Uh, when you look at United, we don't have a striker. Well, Kane maybe is the only one that will probably say yeah, but even then, he's not even playing as a out-and-out striker anymore.
mm,
Jose's made him a good all-rounder. So
yeah,
yeah, Aguero gets enough for me. Then Ibra, obviously he played for United for a spell. I
yeah,
loved him when he was at United. Um,
yeah.
I think Ibra's a bit of Marmite. I love him. I love his arrogance. I love his comments. I love everything he does. Um, but I know a lot of people hate that.
Yeah, is he on the opposite? I don't like him
Yeah,
particularly, but
To be honest, I quite like Ibra. I mean, I know he's very arrogant what he says, and he's, you know, he's very up himself a little bit, but well, quite a lot. But he's got, you know, his CV proves it, doesn't it? I think he's got a
yeah.
great track record with all the clubs he's been at.
I love him as a player as well. As a
Yeah,
player, he backs like he's top scorer in the Italian league at what 37. I know it's the Italian league, but
mm,
there's some decent players in that league, and
yeah,
he's still saying he's still the like at the moment he's still the best, not the
definitely.
best, but like best form. So
Yeah, was he United's top scorer as well? Goals when he was at
he
United.
would have been up there. He scored a lot for us. I was so shocked that we let him go. Um,
Yeah,
I loved him. He won us the Carling Cup, and he was there for the Europa League as well. I think he was injured for the final, but he was
yeah,
a big part of the run. Um, and I loved him. Like when we announced him, I was like, yes. Then he didn't disappoint at all. So he's, I think, like a lot of United fans, we all grew to like him, and
yeah.
he was a great asset to the league as well
Hmm.
as a player.
No, that's I fully understand that. He's a great player and a great character as well. He's one of the
Yeah,
game's good characters, and you know you kind of need that sometimes. Even though people might think, "Oh God, here he goes again, saying he's better than
yeah.
he came, he conquered," kind of that. But he does it. To be fair to him,
Yeah, he says but he backs it by his actions as well. If
mm.
he was, well, he's on the bevs. Look at
I'm on the
that.
bed tonight. It's a Friday night, my last day of isolation. It's party time.
Love it.
Loving life.
Uh, 8, 7, and 6. Iniesta is just class. I
Yeah.
loved watching him play. It was a I didn't want to put Iniesta and Xavi, but they
Mm.
could easily be in there as a duo. Like they were that good together.
Yeah.
But I chose Iniesta, just pure class, and obviously won Spain the World Cup that year, and
Yeah.
that kind of swung me his way. Dani Alves, I used to be a fullback myself, and he was in his prime when I was playing, and he didn't do much defending, he just attacked, and I
Mm.
loved it. I loved the Brazilian style.
Yeah.
And Perlo's Perlo, he's just class.
He's a class act.
He's a
Class
great
act.
watch.
Yeah. I mean, I quite like that one. I think that's a solid shout. That is a really solid shout.
He's likable. He's done nothing not to for people not to like. So
Exactly. And I remember like when he in the European Championships when we unfortunately got knocked out by Italy, he was just class.
connected it.
I mean, we let him dictate the game, but boy, did he just, you know, he was a different class.
He tried to do. He did what Lookman tried to do last weekend against Jay Hart.
Yeah. Was watching too much of Italy. Wait, oh god, I'll still be watching that penalty. I think, why? Why did you do
Yeah,
that?
absolutely crazy, isn't it?
yeah.
uh,
Right.
Josh, do you want to do yours?
Yeah.
Okay. So number 10 is kind of a weird one, but it's kind of like an inside joke between me and Dan. It's
Oh.
Danny Welbeck.
I do love him.
Danny Welbeck, fair enough.
Yeah, because
Danny
me and Dan
Welbeck
both like
FC.
Danny Welbeck. Obviously he played for Arsenal and United.
Oh, okay.
He
Danny
scored
Welbeck FC.
his interesting goals for us. He scored a last-minute goal against Leicester. I think he scored in the FA Cup against Man United as well.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah. I mean, why not?
I don't know. He was just kind of a funny player. Like he fell over a lot, but
He's the kind of
I like.
player that you love because when he's on form, he's class, but he gets injured so much, so you actually feel sorry for him, and he's just a class act.
Yeah.
I'm Danny Welbeck FC with Josh. I wish I put him ahead of Aguero. I'm sorry.
I can't believe you didn't have him in your. Unless he's number one, obviously.
No, that's Heskey, isn't it? It's got to be Heskey. So what's your number 9?
Number 9 is Adebayo Akindele.
Oh, nice.
Because he's just a different type of player to anyone else. Like he's massive and he's not the best player, but he like causes defenses even in the Championship. He's like 37 and he still causes them so many problems because of his size. Like he's so good at just receiving the ball in the air and chesting it down and passing it to other players and heading the ball. And he's been a big part of Wycombe's success in the last few years. And he's a good character as well. Like he gave an interview when they got promoted to the Championship that was like really passionate, and you could tell like what it meant to him to get to that level. And I really respect him for the hard work he's put in to be where he's at.
Oh, definitely. And I think overall he's just an overall good guy as well.
Yeah, sure.
What he says is what he does. He's very honest, and I really like him as a human being as well as a fair play to him. Great player for in the Championship, and he played his part. So I like that, and a beast on FIFA.
Yeah,
that 98 strength or something.
Crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy.
It's good that he's actually doing well in the Championship too. And
he hasn't scored yet. He's come close a few times. I think he will eventually.
Yeah, and they kept hold of him, which is nice as well.
Yeah, I'm glad they did.
Yeah, I agree. The only thing I don't like about it, I think he's a Liverpool fan. So
he is, yeah.
I hate him. He's
always a damn spot. Yeah, I hate him now. Oh, get him out.
Yeah, that's why he's number 9. You see.
Oh, I see. Fair enough. So, what's your number 8, 7, and 6?
Number 8, I'm gonna go with David Beckham.
Nice.
Obviously, he was a class player.
Mm.
Loved watching him for England, and obviously he played for United as well. And also my grandma. I lived with my grandma till I was like 18, and she used to have a picture of him in her bedroom.
Oh, I love that.
So I always liked him because my grandma liked him.
Golden balls.
Yeah. And his variety of haircuts.
Yeah.
No, it's a good shout.
And then number 7, I've gone with Santi Cazorla.
Yeah. You do love him.
Because he was just a really nice guy and, really a good player for us as well. Like, I think we could really use him now. Like, he was a really good creative player, which is something that we don't really have anymore. So I'm always
left foot. He had a piece with left foot as well. So it's good.
Like, yeah. I'm sad he didn't really get a proper goodbye.
Yeah.
Because he was injured. But hopefully he'll come back one day.
Yeah.
Fair shout.
Number 7, I've gone with Aaron Ramsey because he won us 2 FA Cups with goals against Hull and Chelsea.
Yeah.
I can't remember the second goal.
Yeah, funny that.
I remember the whole goal, but yeah, Chelsea I can't seem to remember.
Yeah. And yeah, he like helped end our trophy drought. And yeah, I think obviously he had that horrible injury against Stoke, and then to come back from that,
he was good
really well. And he's doing well in Juventus as well. So
yeah, and to come back from that injury the way he did as well, it was just shows great character. I mean, you know, break your leg like that, and to come back stronger than ever. I mean, kudos to him.
Sure, he's a good player. Good little. Good with his feet, kind of player. Like he dribbler, and he created good opportunities, and he was one of Arsenal's best players for a few years. So
yeah,
I'll give him that. I'll give you that.
Nice one.
Was that 6 or 7?
I think
7. I think.
And then 6.
6, I've gone with another kind of weird one. I've gone with Gareth Ainsworth. So he's now manager of Wycombe, but he used to play as well.
That's a big shout.
He was like a player manager.
Is he the one with the hat?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I just really think he's just done like an amazing job for Wycombe to get them to the level they're at now. Like considering they almost went out of business like 5 or 6 years ago.
Yeah.
He's turned it around with like a really, really small budget as well. I just really.
He's done a great job. He's done a great job to get into the championship, and not well. You said to me you're a small club, so to be in the championship.
Really.
I didn't want to insult you by saying that, but they are. And to get to the championship is such a good achievement. You can see it by the reaction, even on Twitter and through their social accounts. You could tell it's such a big thing.
And he seems like such a cool guy as well.
He's like a musician in like a band.
Yeah, he one of his interview after the playoff final, he's like, "Oh, I had to miss band practice to get here." And I was like, I mean, what other manager? I mean, he reminds me a bit of a English Jurgen Klopp almost. Like he's just such a cool character, and no, fair play to him. He's done a brilliant job at Wycombe, and I'm pleased that they're in the championship, and hopefully they'll stay there for a couple of seasons and try and move their way up the league. But
I mean they're doing better. They struggled a bit at the start, but they've adjusted quite well, and they've got a few wins now, including against Blues.
Nice.
They did do Forest last weekend, but they're improving, so I think they've got a chance to stay up.
For sure, especially with teams like Derby doing so bad.
Yeah. That's a good shout. Good sort of 10 to 6. I was going to say top 4, but 10 to 6, that was really good choice there.
Over to you.
Oh God. Oh no. Right. I've got a few. I mean, there's a couple ones that will shock you. But I'll just go through the 10 to 6 and then I'll talk about them in a bit more in detail. So my number 10 is the legendary Brazilian Kaká.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
9, another Brazilian, Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
Number 8, now Dan will like this one. Number 8, I've gone for Vidic.
Oh, okay.
Ooh,
I've gone for Vidic. And then 7, I'm really worried about your guys' reactions. But I've gone for Steven Gerrard.
Good player, but
Yeah. And then my number 6 is just, I literally had so long, but number 6, I'm going to go for Zinedine Zidane.
Nice.
Interesting.
They're my last top 10 to 6. So the reason I've gone for Kaka, I think, is just I remember. I mean, he's just such a, he can control the games within, like, he can be in like second gear, but yet still have a massive influence.
Yeah.
I just remember like watching him play in the Champions League and him
Against us.
Yeah, and
that game against us was just.
He was insane, wasn't he? He was literally just. I mean, I don't think he. And the scary thing is that he played well, but I don't think he probably would have seen that as his best game.
No.
He can control it at his own. I mean, players that can go and control the game, speed and pace is just. I think that's a real art, and he played the game like art. It's like an art form, and yeah, that's why I've gone for Kaka.
Is he the only guy that's won the Ballon d'Or in the Messi, Ronaldo kind of era, other than Messi and Ronaldo?
Yeah, definitely, and that just shows how good he was. And because he's just a great player, and he could possibly even go up to one of the greats. That's why I've gone for him. 9, Ronaldinho. I think again, just such a class player. I think he was like the first kind of like modern superstar for Barcelona, as in like, he was on the cover of FIFA, of course, and everyone recognised, even the younger kids would just recognise him for his skill, and just the way, like the game he played against Chelsea, where I don't know, to this day I don't know how he scored it, where he just literally chipped the ball, and Cech was just stood there idolised.
He literally stood there. The ball was still, he was still, and he just toed it into the corner. So
yeah.
No one's made a toe look so skillful.
I know.
It's just ridiculous.
If it was anyone else, everyone would say, "Oh, that was just a toe poke," and but the way he kind of like changed his foot, and
ridiculous,
absolutely ridiculous. But great player. So yeah, moving on to 8 and Vidic. It was a surprising one. So I was looking at all the options, but the reason I've gone for him is I don't like to talk about it, but when we lost in Moscow, I think he was absolutely brilliant.
That's a great game, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's fantastic.
Penalty shootout was good.
Yeah, amazing.
I don't want to talk. I don't know why did I bring that up. Oh God, I have nightmares still. But Vidic, class act. I think in the when they won the double that season, and throughout his Man United career, I rarely saw him have a bad game.
He only had bad games against Torres. That's it.
Yeah, against Torres, he would have a nightmare for whatever reason. But
it was just one of those things. It was like a bogey player for him. I don't even get why, because Torres isn't. But he was class, but he wasn't like. He seemed to always panic, but otherwise, Vidic, he was one of the best.
Yeah, without a doubt. And I think he just had that no nonsense kind of attitude, and like he just loved defending as well. Which I think in the Premier League today, it's not so much lack those players, but I think it's more of a mentality to attack now. Rather that a lot of the focus is on the attacking rather than just pure art of defending. I think it's been lost in the game a little bit. So I just think he was class. I mean, I would love him. I would love to have him at Chelsea. But yeah, I mean,
good for you.
So and 7, I've gone for Steven Gerrard, which again I was surprised with myself, but he was just like, I was like thinking about it today. The amount of times he kind of carried Liverpool into winning trophies, a bit like the likes of great players, which I'm not going to mention now because I've got them on my list. But example, Istanbul, like he lifted the Liverpool team in the second half, and he got he scoring that penalty, and as a captain as well, I think he's the only player that I would have liked to have seen. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I would love to have seen him like lift the Premier League. I think he deserved it.
I wouldn't go that far, but
I think he did though, because I mean the amount of he was so loyal to Liverpool. I mean, he had the
He
chance.
nearly went to Chelsea at one point.
He did, yeah.
Yeah.
He actually sent in a transfer request, I think. But I don't know if Gerard Houllier like turned his head round or something. But you know, I think his loyalty and the amount of he's just so committed to that club, and he works so hard. I mean, and that's, you know, I know we take the mickey about it, his slip against Chelsea, but you know, in a way, I was kind of distraught for him because you know he put so much effort, and he literally was at the age he was, and the amount of influence he had on that season. I think, you know, people are going to remember that as well. Like, people remember his slip against Chelsea, and you know, ultimately like costing the league. But he shouldn't be remembered for that. He should be remembered for all the great things he's done.
He was a great player, and I have to admit, when he plays for England, I enjoyed supporting him because I don't know, I related to his game a little bit, even though he was a Scouse player. Like left-footed powerhouse, and he was so good to watch. A great leader. I wouldn't say go as far as I wanted him to win the league. I didn't, but like, I get what you mean. He did deserve it, but I wouldn't want it to do it. I'm quite glad he didn't. So,
I mean, I'd probably say the same thing. But I think he kind of deserved it. I think he deserved it for what he contributed to the game. And it was just a shame as well that he couldn't really, you know, when he was captain England as well in that World Cup 2010. Like, you know, he couldn't really show his full potential because of the way that the England team set up. And it's like the debate with Gerrard and Lampard. You know, if they managed to get together in the England squad and play well, then
I remember Gerrard was often pushed to the left, and that just wasn't right.
It just wasn't his position. But yeah, that's what I've got for Gerrard. And my number 6, I went for Zidane. Didn't into that, and again, probably the same reason for Kaká, because I think he just, again, like in the centre midfield, he can control the game, and it was like an art form for him as well. Again, it was like a shame, like the last international game of his career, he got, you know, highlighted for that headbutt. But I mean, it was a bad, you know, mad moment for him. But I just remember so many games like for Real Madrid. I think as well when he played. I think he played well against Man United. I think in the Champions League there was a famous game.
He's played well,
and he played really.
I remember the volley that he did. It was like up in the air and took ages. I think it was Roberto.
Yeah, I think it was. Yeah,
I'll keep it in and boot it in the air.
That was class, and I just respect him. I respect him for that, and I mean, you know, and now he's managing Real Madrid, the club he loves. So, oh, there we go. Here again.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. May 2021 be better. Please.
Can't be worse, surely.
Oh, goodness. I mean, if Tottenham win the league, then I think I'll have to emigrate.
Oh, yeah, that'll make it worse. That'll be like the end of the world.
Well, I don't mind as long as Liverpool don't win it.
To be fair, that's a good shout. I think as long as Liverpool don't win it again, then that'd be good.
I'd rather they win it than Spurs. So.
Yeah, that's an Arsenal supporter.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
So that's my 10-6.
Alright, are we going to guess each other's number 1 before we do 1 to 5? I'm stuck between 2 on Chris. I reckon I know Josh's.
Yeah, I think I know yours.
I don't remember what you put, but think I can
I'm
guess.
pretty sure you can guess mine. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to
Yeah.
guess it's Henri.
It is Henri. Yeah.
Oh, with Dan's one.
Cristiano Ronaldo.
Hey,
Oh,
bingo.
for some reason, I was going to say something like Ruud van Nistelrooy. I don't know why,
Uh,
but yeah. Oh, fair enough.
Class player, but he doesn't feature. I'm stuck between two on you. He-
See if you can guess.
I'm going to go
Drogba.
Lampard. Oh,
Good shout, Josh. Good shout, but no. Drogba's not my
Lamps.
number one. And good guess, Dan, but Lamps is not my number one.
Terry.
Yes.
Yeah. There's one on two.
John Terry, Mr. Chelsea. Yeah, John Terry's my number one.
Right. Yeah, Chris, you do your 5-1.
Fair enough. So, as you probably well have guessed, my top 5 are all Chelsea players.
Shock.
I know, shock horror. But here's my top 5. So, number 5, I've gone for Joe Cole.
Interesting.
Joe Cole, yeah. I'll go through the rest. Number 4, I've gone for Eden Hazard.
Yeah.
3, Didier Drogba.
Yeah.
2, Frank Lampard. And 1, as I said, Mr. John Terry. So the reason I've gone for Joe Cole is just...
That's a really interesting one.
It's,
I like
yeah. And
I didn't expect that.
Not did I. I mean, I was thinking about who I could have, but I was just thinking, like, when I was younger, what player I enjoyed watching the most, like, in my early years. And I just remember, and the second season we won the title, like, you know, this young player coming from West Ham, you know, had a good service with West Ham. You know, he did all right, but I mean, pretty much the same with Lampard. But I just remember that when he entered his first season on Mourinho, he was just so. I mean, I just loved watching him play. I just loved watching him. You know, he was so skillful. He scored some great goals. I mean, the one that springs to mind is against United on the. I think it was the last game of the season, or this season we won it. We just literally outrun Ferdinand, and he just smashed it into the top corner. That was a great goal.
Was Joe Cole the one that scored for England against someone like Sweden? He chested it.
Yes.
When he chested it, and it was that half volley.
Yeah, that was iconic.
Yeah, that was such a brilliant goal, and to have the confidence to do that as well on the international stage was, you know, fantastic for him. And he was, I mean, it was just a shame when he he had that injury. And when he left Chelsea, he went to, you know, he had a few loan periods at like Liverpool. And I think his last club was at Coventry. I think he was played like at Coventry. But yeah, he's just, I loved watching him when I was younger. He's probably, I mean, at that time, he was probably one of my favourite players, skillful wise. And yeah, I just, it was a kind of moment where I just didn't expect him to do that. You know, young, you know, spawny kid coming from West Ham, you know, from the books of West Ham, and just coming to that Chelsea team and set the team running was just fantastic for him. And yeah, so that's
I liked him. He was a lot skillful than people probably remember or give him credit for. A lot more skillful. So, like he had twinkle toes, just like the next one you're gonna like. Hazard, you're your number 4.
Yeah.
For me, he was my favourite player in the league for a good few seasons, and like Chelsea have that kind of, they like that kind of play. You can see it now with Pulisic coming through it. Even Mount doesn't probably get enough credit, even though I don't think he's as good as people think, but I don't think he's as bad as most people think, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So, he's like in the middle. He's like improving. He's got potential to be as good as people like Lineker and Southgate, and then all that. Probably Chelsea fans think, but he definitely has potential. But anyway, why am I talking about Mount?
You love him, really. You like Lampard. You just, it's but yeah, Lampard sees the potential in Mount, and I think that's why. I mean, there's a few jokes that go like, "Oh yeah, he's his, favourite, partner in crime," but I think he's got a lot of potential. I think that's what Mourinho saw in Joe Cole as well. I mean, signing him from West Ham was a bit of a surprise, and everyone was thinking, "Oh, will he be able to do it on the big stage?" But he proved himself, and that's what I've got for Joe Cole for number 5. Number 4, like Eden Hazard, as we touched on, another skillful player. I mean, for me, he was probably the best player in the league when he was at Chelsea, like especially his last season. I think he was brilliant. I mean, the goals that he scored and the variety of goals, he was so pivotal for us. And I touched on it last week. We were kind of like, he was so good that we were almost like one-dimensional at a time, because he was so good. He could literally just carry the game by himself. If we needed that creative spark, we needed someone to grab the game by the horns, he was that player. And yeah, I keep bringing goals up, but like the one he scored against Arsenal, when he just literally ran the whole pitch. And like Koscielny, I think it was Koscielny, tried to like tackle him, but he fell over.
I think it was Coquelin. Yeah.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, Coquelin. Yeah. But yeah, it was just like, I mean, from a small lad as well. He's not the tallest. For a small, kind of thin player to kind of just outmuscle Coquelin, who's, to be fair, he's, a good centre defensive midfielder, just shows how strong he was. And he was go down as I wouldn't say he goes down as a legend for Chelsea, because he was a great player, but I think
I think he'll be near, because he was probably your best player 2 seasons that you won the Premier League.
I'd say
he had the off season in between when Leicester won it, but even then he turned up when the world needed Spurs not to win the league. So
I'll always like him for
that.
I think a lot of teams praise Hazard for that, and against the Tottenham. But he was
I was gutted. I remember when he was first linked to move to England, and it was all about him coming to United. It was like that was all Sky Sports were reporting, and then last minute he nabbed him, and like that's probably one of the most frustrating ones that we didn't sign for me, because we were so close, but obviously something went wrong, and not for the first time in our recent career, but like that was such a good signing for you, and it took him a few years, but when he fully, I remember one game in the cup. This isn't even about his playing, but I remember him kicking the Swansea ball boy, and that showed his kind of, like, loads of people said, "Oh, he shouldn't have done that." The Swansea ball boy made a meal out of it. But,
100%.
But it showed Hazard's passion. When players do that, I don't get angry at them, because it shows passion. It shows that they care. I'd rather that than them do like a stupid, like not try kind of thing, or let them time waste. Because I think it was in the cup and Swansea were winning or something. It was something like that.
Yeah.
It just shows his passion for Chelsea.
Definitely. I mean, he lived and breathed Chelsea towards the end. Like, I mean, I remember when he left for Real Madrid, like he wrote a club letter to the club, just like I think it was like 5 pages long, of just like saying how much he loved the club and how much he's gutted about leaving. But and that's what I like about players leaving and being honest. I like players' honesty when, I don't mind a player leaving by saying, look, you're just being honest and saying, look, I feel like I need to change. It's when players are not honest and they kind of, lie and say, "Oh, I'm committed to the club," and then the next minute they're gone, kind of thing. I just love his honesty. And yeah, to be fair to him, I mean, it's not his. I don't think it's all part of his fault. He hasn't really hit the ground running yet at Real Madrid.
Yeah, I'm gutted for him. I'm not gonna lie. I thought
Yeah,
it was a really good signing for them, but he's been injured. He's been in and out of the team. It's not really worked so far, but hopefully he'll pick it up now that he's back playing. But hopefully, anyway, because I think he deserves. I think he's
class player. So yeah, but number 3. I mean, to be honest, these players I could go on hours for. I mean, thinking about, but I'll try and keep it as short as possible. Number 3, Didier Drogba. Goes without saying, really. I mean, won us the Champions League. I mean, that was just, and he won. It wasn't just the Champions League. He won us trophies like at Wembley. The League Cup. He would win us. Yeah. He won us trophies. And in the FA Cup, he won us the FA Cup. He was a mammoth of a player. And I think every defender, when they came against Chelsea, the first thing they thought was Didier Drogba in his prime.
He was so good. Like just his physicality up front. I know he dived, he went down easy. People will say that, but as a striker, he was dominant. And I just remember that equaliser in the Champions League, the front post header, the flick on. The light was flickered. That's weird.
You're right.
the front post header, he was so happy.
Yeah.
Then to do the winning penalty as well. That final was about him. Like you could not taking anything away from all the other Chelsea players, but that final was about him.
Yeah,
it was a special occasion, even to watch. Like he beat the Germans, so like
in
their own backyard as well.
Yeah. I mean, and also that, I mean, we were celebrating Champions League, and also we were celebrating that Tottenham couldn't qualify for the Champions League as well. They just missed out.
Always a bonus.
So was that the Crouchy scored to make them qualify, and then you won the Champions League?
I think it was. It was. I think
they had to play City towards the end, and it was between them two to get Champions League, and I think Crouchy scored the winner. But then you went and won the Champions League the week after.
That's classic Spurs, really, isn't it?
Well, it is. I mean,
just Spursy. So Spursy.
Yeah, but I mean, he was a quality striker.
Yeah. The celebration makes it as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. The typical arms out, and I mean, against when he scored the penalty against Bayern Munich, he just did the motorbike, didn't he? He just went around the whole stadium with a motorbike. And I was like, this is classic Drogba.
I remember his goal against United in the FA Cup final as well.
Yeah.
It's one of the first finals I remember. I think it was like 2004, something like that.
Yeah, around that time.
It's like it was late on or extra time or something. It was 1-0 Chelsea it finished, and I think it was Rio and Van der Sar got in between and poked it home. It was like
I think it was 2007.
Of quality.
I think.
Yeah, I think it was
because it was at Wembley, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And because Wembley opened in like 2006, I think it was.
Oh, maybe it was 2006.
Because it was Liverpool, West Ham. Gerrard scored that screamer.
Maybe it was 2007.
And then it was Drogba the year after.
Yeah, because we were the first team to win the FA Cup at the old. We were the last team to win the FA Cup at the old stadium, and then we were the first team to win the FA Cup at the new stadium at the new Wembley. So,
because Liverpool was at Millennium, wasn't it?
Millennium Stadium, yeah. That's
right. Yes.
But I mean, great player, legend at the football club. And onto another legend, Frank Lampard.
Super Frankie.
Dan's favourite manager. But
it's nothing like personal. It's just I don't like the hype around him because I don't think he's any good. But like it's the same with you guys and Ollie. It's like as long as you keep him, I'm happy. Like,
I mean, moving up, like managers
as a player, Clark.
different, but as a player, I mean, same with Ollie as well. He was a fantastic player. But Frank, Chelsea's all-time goal scorer, and for a midfielder to score 30 goals a season like he did, or 20 goals a season for a centre midfielder back then, it was almost like unheard of. But he managed to do it almost every other season.
Still in there, even though he went to City.
Oh yeah. I have nightmares about him scoring against Chelsea.
That was mad moment.
That was crazy. You couldn't write it, could you? Him scoring the equaliser for these beloved Chelsea. But yeah, great player. He's got so much love for the club as well. I have huge respect for him. Great goals he scored. And number one, I had to go for John Terry. I had to. I mean, me personally.
Dan's favourite player.
Now you can say that.
He's your favourite player. But I mean, because I played centre half for Sunday League, and I always looked up to him. Like he was the player. I mean, and at the time as well, he was Mr. Chelsea. Great service to the club. Came through the ranks, worked his way up, became captain, and our most successful captain as well. The trophies that he's won is just. I mean, I admit it. He's probably not one of the most nicest people to meet. You're not one of the greatest guys, but as a footballer, as a defender, I mean,
as a player, he was a rock. He was a leader. He was fairly good.
Rock at the back.
As a human, I can't like him. I'm sorry.
I think him and Vidic at the back, if Terry and Vidic at the back would have been a great.
Oh, it'd be solid. Be absolutely solid.
Solid back, two centre backs. But yeah, John Terry, he's been, I loved him as a captain. I'm pleased for him that he's doing well at Villa as well as assistant coach, getting his coaching badges, and I can see him being a manager one day. So I just think he's got that drive like Lampard has. But yeah. That's my number one player. Sorry to go so long, but
that's all right. Josh, you can go next. Terry, fair play, good number one.
Thank you.
At least you always have that Moscow slip.
Oh, I know. It's in there. It was the most amazing moment.
I mean, he did win the Champions League, and sorry, just one more point.
Oh, he put his kit on, didn't he? Yeah.
But he should have, I think he should have done, and I think he did the right thing because, he played a part. He played a part in us
winning the Champions League,
and
do it in the suit like everyone else does.
Yeah, I mean, I think the shin pads thing was a bit too far, but I think definitely the kit. But yeah, Josh, on to you, mate. Sorry about that.
Yeah. So mine actually aren't all Arsenal players. Most of them are, but so number 5, I've gone for someone who was on Chris's list earlier, Ronaldinho.
Yeah.
Nice.
Number 4, Sol Campbell.
Ooh.
Okay.
Number 3, I've gone Cesc Fabregas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Number 2, Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah.
And number 1, Thierry Henry.
Sol Campbell's an interesting one.
That's very interesting. Very interesting one. But
I mean, Ronaldinho, one of my first football memories is him scoring for Brazil against England in the 2002 World Cup.
Against Seaman.
Where he just lobbed Seaman. I was at school watching it and it just broke my heart.
Some player.
He was.
He was just a class player.
Yeah, definitely. I like that choice. to be honest, I would have put him higher if it wasn't for my love of Chelsea players. But yeah, great player. Yeah, very skillful.
Sol Campbell, I mean, obviously he went from Tottenham to Arsenal, which pissed off a lot of Spurs fans. Like, if you watch like the first game he played back at White Hart Lane, like the pure hatred in the ground is like, it's palpable. Like, you don't get anything like it now. Like, they actually wanted to kill him. It was that bad.
It's like when I remember when Tevez joined City.
Oh yeah, welcome to Manchester.
Yeah. When players do that, I wonder what's going on in their heads.
Oh, it's crazy, isn't it? I think
it's just funny because Wenger held a press conference where he told everyone he was going to introduce a goalkeeper, Richard Wright, and then he goes and introduces Sol Campbell. None of the media knew about it. Like, this was before social media, so nobody knew about it. And then he just announced it to surprise everyone. That would never happen now.
Yeah, can you imagine if it happened now? Like,
I think it's so much better.
It would be amazing, but
like so much better.
Backlash over that would be insane.
Like, imagine, like we wouldn't have had all summer talk about Jadon flipping Sancho. Like, it would have been so much better if we didn't know there was a link.
Well, yeah. It's just like, it's typical Woodward, unfortunately, mate. Like, you announce something,
but
and then
it's the same for like any like transfer. Like, you knowing about Fernal, or you knowing about Thiago Silva. Well, Thiago Silva was a bit late. It like all happened very quickly. But Chilwell was linked for you for ages, and then you were like, probably got to the point he's going to sign for us, and when he signs, you're like, oh, he signed for us. Like,
I think
it wasn't.
Chelsea tend to get deals done quite quickly, but like Man United and Arsenal take like a million years to do a transfer. So by the time it's actually announced, you're not even excited anymore.
You're like, hallelujah.
You've heard about it for so long.
You're like, about time. Like, it takes excitement out of it.
Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, what like you said, Josh, what I remember as well with when Gallas from Chelsea went to Arsenal, and then we signed Ashley Cole. That was kind of like under the radar, wasn't it? I remember.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think people knew, like fans knew, that Gallas wanted to leave Chelsea, but I didn't expect us to sign one of your best left backs. Arguably the best left back in the Premier League. That was a huge surprise.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just wouldn't happen now, I don't think.
No, it wouldn't.
Well, apart from Giroud.
No. I mean, we have bought quite a few Chelsea players. So.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Sorry about Louise. Oh, yeah, sorry. Oh.
Yeah, I think we need to stop buying your rejects.
Keep it up. Fair enough.
We'll be buying Kepa next, probably.
Yeah, probably. Take Leno.
Who's your three?
Sex Fabregas.
Yeah.
Obviously, he played for Chelsea as well.
Yeah.
I know some Arsenal fans are still quite annoyed about that, but I just really liked him. Like, he came to Arsenal when he was like 17, and you could tell straight away how talented he was.
Yeah.
He's
a magician.
Just the heart of our midfield for so long.
Yeah.
Do
you remember that performance against Barca in the Champions League?
Yes.
Like, so good.
Yeah, he was fantastic. I mean, I went to I think it was his first final for Arsenal, when he played in the League Cup against Chelsea. I went to the game, and I think he captained the side that day because I remember playing. And when Walcott scored the first goal, he was brilliant. Like, absolutely.
Where's he?
Sorry?
Is he on your list? Josh.
Who's that? Sorry,
Walcott.
Walcott. No, he's not on my list. No.
Oh,
I mean, he
God.
had his moments. I mean, I think he gets a bit too much stick sometimes. I mean, he was good for a while. I mean,
Then he got injured.
Injuries kind of killed his career a bit.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he did score over 100 goals for us, so he wasn't that bad.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like Walcott, to be honest. I think, like you say, I think some of his stick is a bit unfair because he did have that injury, and I think with Southampton, I remember when he played against Chelsea, he was brilliant. Like he
got man of a match somehow the other weekend. He played terribly. He was so bad. He missed so many chances. He got man of the match.
Oh,
you're just blinded by your hatred of Theo Walcott.
Yeah, that's what it is, mate. You know.
I don't hate him. I just don't rate him.
Clearly, the Premier League does to get man of the match. But yeah, I quite like Walcott.
Fabregas, good shout.
Yeah, 100%. Good player. Yeah, preferred him at Chelsea.
That goal he scored against Spurs, where we were 1-0 up, and then like a few seconds later, he just danced through their midfield and made it 2-0. That was a great moment.
He's class. He was class.
Class play. And Barcelona as well. He started off. He was, arguably one of Barcelona's best midfielders. And then he went to Arsenal and then went back to Barca. Did he go back to Barca?
Yeah, he went back to Barca.
Yeah, he did. Yeah. And then
started at Barca's academy, went to Arsenal, went back to Barca, then he went to Chelsea.
That's it. But yeah,
America. Is he in America now? Is he retired?
Maybe that Monaco.
Oh, is he in Monaco?
Yes.
I think he is.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Monaco. Yeah, I don't think he plays as much as he. I think he's like a squad player now.
Yeah. But
he's like 30. He's in his late 30s now.
He's old now, surely.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been around a while.
So
your last two are just legends.
Yeah, I mean, Bergkamp was just a magician. I mean, that goal against Newcastle.
That goal, something.
Just
defies logic.
Yeah, I still don't know how he did it, but
he was class. He was a class player.
He was such an aesthetically pleasing player to watch. Like, just could do things with the ball that no one else could. And
he developed English football. That whole Arsenal team took English football into like the technically.
Yeah, I think he was one of the kind of first foreign superstars that came over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, you look at the Premier League now, it's just full of them. And he kind of started off that trend, and Wenger was sort of the first manager to use a lot of foreign players, and he got a lot of stick for it at the time.
Yeah.
But, it's normal now.
And Henry, you're number one.
Henry doesn't really need saying. I mean,
he
could just
world-class.
Go past defenders like they weren't even there.
I remember the goal he scored. Well, from videos, the goal he scored against United on the turn.
Oh, yeah.
So
that was insane.
And then I remember his comeback. Didn't he score in that FA Cup
against Leeds?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And the goal he scored at the Bernabeu against Real Madrid as well.
Yeah.
That was a class.
So many moments, like just a class player. He went on to play for Barca, didn't he? And
he did, yeah.
Remember him in the Champions League final against United in 2009. He played in that. Yeah, just a class player, class act. And seems like a class person as well from his punditry, and now he's going into management as well.
Yeah, he's managing in America, I think. Now.
Yeah. He'll do well.
And what a manager, for a young player as well.
Yeah.
Was to have Thierry Henry as your manager, like arguably the best striker the Premier League has seen. Like what a influence,
Yeah. No room for Vieira.
Oh yeah.
I was tempted to put Vieira in.
Yeah.
He was.
Akinfenwa just tips him for quality.
Yeah, I mean,
and Welbeck.
Like we've been trying to replace Vieira for like 15 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he was just so good, and he had a bit of a nasty side to him. He kind of defined, like a lot of people remember the kind of Arsenal Invincibles as quite smooth and silky, but they also had a bit of a tough side to them as well, and he kind of defined that.
Good player.
Yeah.
Good list, though. Good list.
Very good list, Josh. I like that.
Shall I do mine?
Go for it.
I'll go through it like you've done as well. So 5, I opted for Rio ahead of Vidic, but it could have been either or again, a bit like the Iniesta Xavi situation.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went for Rio. 4, Scholesy. 3, Ronaldinho. We've all put Ronaldinho.
Oh.
2, Rooney. 1, Ronaldo. So the top 2 were probably expected. So,
Yeah.
5, 4, Ferdinand. Don't get me wrong, I love Vidic. He was quality and probably loved him just as much. But for this list, I put Rio because he was the first player I can remember who could play with a football, like a centre back who could play with a football. And he was just quality for me, and a leader. He knew the club. He still knows the club. Yeah, he was just class. I loved him, and everything he did for United was top class. Same with Scholesy at the 4.
Yeah.
For me, Scholesy was. There's always going to be this Lampard, Gerrard, Scholesy debate.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'll probably say Scholesy. Well, I will say Scholesy. You'll probably say Lampard.
Yeah.
I'll say Gerrard.
Yeah. Bit like Scholesy, like his passing. A lot of our generation don't realise he started as a attacking midfielder, like a number 9, like a person in behind the striker, or even as a striker.
Yeah.
And a lot of people in our generation don't know that because he pushed back into the centre mid role and just showed his versatility, and his passing was so good. Like I missed that passing; it was just ridiculous. And he was so vital. He couldn't tackle, but I loved it when he tried. He always just fouled people. He wasn't like Fernandinho. He just genuinely couldn't tackle. Like,
yeah, I think,
like,
quality players. Sorry, I was just going to say, like, I'd say, I think Scholes is probably one of those kind of like forgotten players. Like, really, I mean, because I mean, you know, the modern generation kind of look at like Gerrard and Lampard, but I think Scholes needs to be put into that bracket of best England midfielders because, you know, I think he was very underrated for what he did. You know, and he was just such a quality. You know, he bossed the middle of the park, and you know, I think he's. Could you imagine if like Scholes, Gerrard, and Lampard like played at their peak together in the England side? It would just
Scholes. For me, Scholes, he didn't get enough of a chance with England as well. He always, similar to Gerrard, kind of played on the wing, or maybe he just played out of position, and it wasn't right to put him out there. And I understand why he retired early from international, because no international manager was respecting his quality.
No,
we totally wasted that generation of midfielders. Like,
yeah, all we had to do was a midfield 3. Just put them in a midfield 3. You got Rooney up top. You got Ferdinand and Terry behind. You got Ashley Cole left back, the best left back in the world probably at that time.
Yeah,
and you got so many good players.
Oh, we didn't win anything.
Didn't win anything.
we didn't come close to winning anything.
No, we didn't
And that's
really.
the thing. That's for that
We
team.
got closer with flipping Trippier at right back. I've seen that one. The World Cup. Man.
Southgate as manager.
Southgate as manager. How's that even happened? We had Eric Dyer at centre mid, for God's sake.
Oh my goodness.
We got to the semi-final.
It's mad, isn't it? How we just didn't, come close, like even a semi-final with that team.
It's crazy. We had Bex was in that generation as well. Like, so many good players, man.
Countless. Good
so
players.
many. It's ridiculous. Anyway, one player we all included, Ronaldinho. For me, he was probably the first person who made me enjoy how do you put it? He was the first person for me to look at football in a different way. Like, always, probably before him, I used to look at it like, who won? Or what's this, like, why is there no goals? But he brought entertainment, his smile, his technique, his everything. Like, and when I was younger, I went to it's called Brazilian soccer schools. It's like all around England and the world now. And it was here in Jersey. I went to that, and his kind of moves were drilled into like everything that we did there. He was that's why I've got a love for the Brazilian kind of style of play. Like anyone from that kind of era, like Ronaldo could have been in Brazilian Ronaldo, could have been in it. Kaku could have been in it. Anyone like Kaká. I was thinking Cafu, but then I was like, Kaku.
I thought you meant the Derby manager.
No. I just said it wrong. Rivaldo I loved. All those type of players. And it's just that even Robinho, when he came to the Premier League again, he played for City. He didn't know he was joining City. He thought there was only one club in Manchester, but he was so good. And I remember when City brought in Elano as well. He was a good little player. Just loved the Brazilian style and flair. They just brought something different. They were taught to express themselves, whereas our lot were probably told to boot it. Like, that's the difference, and it's developed now, and we're moved into that kind of way now. It's good, but Ronaldinho was there from the start, and like Neymar, maybe, like he's the only one that I can really. The only thing with Neymar is he doesn't go for the end product enough for me. He always looks for a foul rather than say, I beat a player, now let's carry on. He always beat the player, go down under minimal contact and moan at the ref. That's his game. And it's a shame because he could have reached Ronaldinho's levels easily.
Yeah.
And for me, he needs to leave PSG to even be mentioned as a great for me.
The argument I have with Neymar is that, I think he left Barcelona to go to PSG to be their main man. But I don't think he ever got that in Paris Saint-Germain because, like, no disrespect to him, he's a great player, but I don't think he was good enough to carry Paris Saint-Germain. Because he was like Paris Saint-Germain's landmark signing. But I think, was he there when Ibra was there as well? Was it Ibrahimovic? Was he, or did he just leave?
I think he would have been there. It might be very close to the switch over. I think Ibra came in 2016 to United.
Yeah,
so
he did.
It'd be very close to the switch.
And I think, and Mbappe, I think Mbappe is just overshadowed Neymar, really.
So good.
Yeah, so...
If we're talking about this in 20 years' time, Mbappe, if he leaves and joins, even if he joins one of the English teams, and he'd be smashing this list. even if he joined Barca. I
think
see
he'll
him as
join
more
Real
of a
Madrid.
Madrid player, but
Yeah, I think he'll join Madrid.
I hope he doesn't, because I don't think Madrid are going anywhere at the moment.
Yeah, I'd love him to see him play in the Premier League.
I'd love it.
You know, I think more of. I think that's the only downside of the Premier League. We need to like encourage more of these global superstars to play in the Premiership because in my opinion, I think it's the best league.
It is the best league.
Yeah. So
the only league that's trying to get to the standards of the Premier League for me at the moment is the German league.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Maybe not maybe for entertainment, but maybe more so the quality of the league, because you see English youngsters go off to German teams all the time just to develop the game, and it's working. But yeah, my number 2 is Rooney. Like, I love him. Like, simple as that. He obviously England's all-time top scorer, United's all-time top scorer, and that's just all you need to know about Rooney. Like, he bags goals. He was a leader, even from a young age. He was a leader. Always remember his first game, Champions League hat-trick, flipping heck, for United. That is for Everton.
Yeah, I always remember the goal he scored for Everton against Arsenal when he was like 16.
Yeah, he was 16.
That was when he sort of first burst onto the scene.
Curled in,
and I think the commentator said, like, remember the name Wayne Rooney.
Yeah.
And that was kind of, you knew he was going to be good straight away.
Definitely.
Yeah. He's had his ups and downs, but for me, I love him. And any United fan, it's not just about the scoring, it's about how hard he worked for the side and the passion he had for the side. It was special. And even if there was times, like, I remember there was one spell where he was very close to leaving for Chelsea again, like Gerrard was, but he stuck with it even when managers came and went. Like, I remember him when Moisey was first took charge. He was very close to leaving then as well, and he was just class. I loved him. I remember the goal he scored against Stoke to break the United record. It was a free kick towards the end of his career, and not career, United career, and it was special. Yeah, I love him. He was unlucky not to be number 1, but there's only one person in this world that's going to be number 1 with me. So it's Ronnie, it's Ronaldo, Cristiano. Like, having Madeiran background as well, like, everything about Ronaldo is very close to my heart. Obviously, United times, he was sublime. He is sublime. For me, like, not many people agree with me, because a lot of people have gone to the Messi side, but for me, the way he's worked to be where he is, he wasn't naturally gifted. He worked his socks off. He's got stronger. He's got physically better than he probably ever has been. And he's 36 now, still smashing it for Juve, one of the biggest clubs in the world. Still their main player. It's just, fantastic player.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, there's he's one of the greats, one of the great players of all time. He's definitely up there with Messi. I mean, it's almost got to that stage now where I don't like comparing like Messi and Ronaldo. I don't like saying who's better, because they're both sensational players.
I think they're different players as well.
Yeah,
because Messi is naturally brilliant dribbler, brilliant. Well, dribbling's his main threat, and obviously he can finish the ball. But Ronaldo, he's more dominant. He can dribble as well, but he's more dominant. His physical attributes are probably more than Messi, and he works for the team as well, Ronaldo. But both of them are flipping unbelievable players. And when people continuously compare, this annoys me. And like, I'll have my opinion, but if I say my opinion, people often jump on it, and like it's football, but
Yes.
it's annoying. Can't we just take in these two great players and say they're both flipping fantastic?
I mean, they're almost the type of two players that would be, this is going pretty deep, but like there is two players that if we do have children, or we'll say I was lucky enough to see Ronaldo and Messi, within the generation of Ronaldo and Messi, because I don't think. I mean, don't get me wrong, you've got great players coming through now, like the Mbappes and the Neymars and that, but I don't think we'll ever see two players
not at the same time.
Not on the same time, consistently performing year in, year out, scoring, breaking records.
I think that's what makes them so good, because they've been battling trying to improve their own game to be the best in the world, just to get like the Ballon d'Or. So we say comparing's bad, but sometimes it's good because it's made them push, and it's been great to see, and to say that it's still going on.
Yeah.
11, 12 years later. So when it started, it's crazy.
It's crazy, and I mean, I would love to have seen. I mean, when the news came out that Messi handed in his transfer request to Barcelona, I was so excited for him to just move to a different league.
Yeah,
I don't think he needs to, because he's he's had so many good years at Barcelona, but I mean, there's a time in every player's career where you just need to have a new challenge.
That's kind of what I'm comparing when I just said don't compare. But like,
I know, yeah.
Ronaldo's done it at Sporting, he's done it at United, he's done it at Madrid, and now he's doing it at Juve. Messi's just stayed at Barca. Like, I don't get it. I get the loyalty. I love the loyalty. Fantastic to see, especially in the modern game. But for me, Ronaldo's pushing himself. He's challenging himself, and it's really good. No, he's always going to be my number one. But
yeah,
I'm lucky enough to say I've seen him live as well, more than once. So I can take that and tell stories about that. So the one from my list that I really would have loved to see was Ronaldinho, to see live.
Yeah.
Just to say that you've seen him. But yeah.
I would have loved to see. I mean, I was lucky to see Ronaldo live. I mean, he was on. I think when the game I went to, he was on the bench. I think it was actually the game before we played you in Moscow, like in the league, and he was actually on the bench. And at first, I was like, "What is he doing on the bench?"
Yeah.
But when he came on, he was just—you could just see how good he was. Like, he took the game by the scruff of the neck. And, he can do anything. He can literally header, free kicks, penalties.
Yeah.
Not many things that he can't do. And it's the same with Messi as well, really.
It's when he came off in the Portugal's Euros final, and he just managed from the bench.
Yeah.
That leadership was just unbelievable to see. It's special.
It's insane. Yeah, great professional.
I'm just going to stop dribbling about Ronaldo.
Who knows? He might be coming back.
I hope so, mate. I do hope so. The rumour mill is back. I'm trying not to believe it, but I love it.